Do people... Oh, окей. А воно гучно на весь. В мікрофон. Воно в колонці.
І в навушниках також.
А, да?
Так.
Okay, so people in the headphones can hear me in their headphones right now. Cool. Wow. I'm in your head. Okay, please, 1, 2. It's running away. Okay, welcome. Bienvenido, bem-vindo. Ласкаво просимо. Welcome everyone to this crucial discussion on decolonizing climate solutions amid global crisis. And I would like to start. My name is Olha Boyko. I'm a coordinator of Climate Action Network, Eastern Europe, Caucasus, and Central Asia. And I would like to start with saying that in 2022, the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, first identified colonialism among the factors predisposing vulnerability and exposure of ecosystems and people to climate change. International research acknowledges that the colonial period not only created unstable economies and socially destructive hierarchies, but also fostered environmentally detrimental practices that went on to play a significant role in global climate change. I would like to show on the slide of our region. Anton? So as you can see, there's it's just a map from one of the researchers, and there's many these kind of regional maps, or like maps that show you different regions geopolitically, economically, in different ways. But I just found this one because it does kind of covers the AECCA or ICA region. And it is pink on the slide in case you didn't notice. And it is always a question. So where is ICA, meaning where it stands in terms of geopolitics, in terms of colonialism, in terms of a lot of global discussions, also connected to climate justice, responsibilities for emissions. There's many unanswered questions which we are discussing and discovering still. But I just wanted you to have this image and put ourselves on the map. So Eastern Europe, Caucasus, Central Asia, and also Baltic countries, they may have looked like parts of a voluntary Soviet Union, but they were in fact under Moscow's full economic and political control over the past century. Every decision regarding the economy, foreign relations, culture, and the distribution of resources was made in the Kremlin. And in an attempt to meld different ethnicities into one Soviet people, identities of entire peoples and ethnic groups were erased, along with the political autonomies, and last but not least, the environments were devastated. From turning east of Ukraine into coal mining region to the desertification of Aral Sea in Central Asia, the economic decisions made in the central government of the Soviet Union did not take into account the rights of indigenous population, environmental impact on, or the national interests of the republics. The resources were common, and they were used to accommodate the Kremlin's bigger plan. Having lost that means of direct control over the region after the Soviet Union collapsed, Russia persists in its efforts to regain the control by force wherever the countries try to pave their own independent way. Despite global commitments, Russia continues to disregard emissions reductions, earning hundreds of billions of dollars from fossil fuel exports, while promoting gas and nuclear as green energy right here at COP. In the ICA region, we are witnessing how centralized decision-making and dependency on fossil fuels puts civil society and communities at risk. The extraction of coal, oil, and gas continues and is rising. At the same time, the countries are becoming more vulnerable to climate crisis. There are constant power outages in Central Asia, as the grids were constructed during the Soviet era and cannot fully sustain the demand for decentralized renewable energy transition. In the Caucasus, the vulnerability becomes higher as more glaciers are melting and the landslides take many people's lives. And of course, in Ukraine, there's enormous destruction of lives and environment done as a result of direct attacks by the Russian military. All this is happening while the civil society enjoys less and less freedoms every year, with restrictive laws spreading across the region. In this situation, active solidarity becomes essential. We should be synchronized in our collective efforts to build a more just, safe, and resilient world. This is why we are building a bridge today between the ECCA region and Latin America to hear from the civil society directly about the challenges, but also a way forward for us in this unstable world of multi-crisis. Today, we have with us Anastasia Dubko, climate policy expert from NGO EcoAction, Ukraine. Mateus Menezes Asif, research coordinator at Conju Clima, Youth Climate and Environmental Council from Brazil. And Christian Flores Mamani, technician in policy advocacy at Plataforma Boliviana Frente al Cambio Climático from Bolivia. So, dear Mateus, could you start with reflecting colonialism? Could you start with reflecting on how colonialism has affected Brazil?
Yes, I can.
And specifically your community, how it affected the environment and the current efforts to achieve climate neutrality. And we have a presentation too. Can see them. You can go there.
When I want to change.
You should say. Oh, or wave.
Okay.
And you can go to the table as well.
When I want to change, I will say this for you. Okay. So can everyone hear me well? Cool, cool. I have more than 35 slides, so I'm sorry for that. It will be a lot of information, and I promise I try to summarize everything in only 10 minutes. So basically, the first thing that I'm gonna say is the colonialism of Portugal. What is my friend? So Brazil was colonized by the Portuguese people, and was colonized by Portuguese people in the 1500, 1500. And when they arrived in Brazil, they basically came from the coast, okay? Bring with them deforestation, and they said that the civilization wasn't that is not like forest. Okay? So now I'm gonna say about me. Yeah. So I am a caiçara. I am a traditional fisher from Brazil. All this part here of the coast of Brazil is a caiçara. We are usually mixed between indigenous people and also Portuguese, some European backgrounds. But we are on this area here, and some people are losing the traditions like me, you know, and I will explain you now. So this is my island. This is Guarujá. Guarujá is an island of Baixada Santista, which is in the state of São Paulo. And I will just explain one thing. When the parents of my grandma were alive, they used to live in a community in this area here. My grandma used to say that her father built all this road until here. They used to build the road till here, all this area, and the place where they live was here. And my grandma always say, really sad for me, that one day a lot of people went to this area and asking him, saying like, oh, we are gonna help you, we are gonna do this, we are gonna do that, and I got the finger of my great grandfather in a piece of paper. And the next day, he lose all the land. So all the community had to leave. And then now this part here called Iporanga is the most expensive place in the island. So we lose our community for people to build expensive houses. Sorry, I am a climate, I'm doing masters in climate change. And of course I have to say something about climate change. The Baixada Santista, where is a lot of caiçaras, are gonna be affected by climate change because of the sea level, and also because it's having a lot of evaporation from the sea, because the sea is getting warmer, and is having a lot of rain, so we are getting affected because most of our places is 1 meter up the sea level, okay? So this is a traditional Caiçara village, and then now that's what become. So this is basically what the Portuguese did in the beginning of 1500. They show us what is being civilized, if you understand what I mean. Yeah. So also my area, where is São Paulo State is the Mata Atlântica. And this was Mata Atlântica in 1500. And now this is Mata Atlântica in 2007. If you can see, we lose a lot of vegetation, okay? Now I'm gonna say about dictatorship in Brazil and show you how the colonized mind is still in our culture, okay? So in the dictatorship in Brazil was between 1964 to 188. So basically here you have the plan of Brazil to link all the places, and this area here is the Amazon, okay? So the propaganda, the advertisement of the Brazilian government was to industrialize and civilize the people in the Amazon, okay? So here is the Volkswagen of Brazil is gonna be produced in the Amazon. What does this mean? They're gonna produce cows. So they open the land in the Amazon, and then they put cows there to sell to Europe and to other places. And this is what was making money to Brazil in that time, and also nowadays. So here, they were saying that the Amazon was the green hell, okay? Because they didn't see the Amazon as a good thing. They wanted to open spaces and they put industry and also cows there. And this is what was happening in the dictatorship in Brazil. Also, another thing, they say here in the Amazon, you're gonna find a mine of gold. And then here, someone like is preparing to cut the big tree. And here it is, Amazon is gone, you know, this first one. And here, I will just translate. The future arrives. We are doing a program to bring integration. Can you help me with translation?
Okay, so the future has come finally, brought to us by the program of national integration from the government. And finally, the
Green hell.
the lender. Yeah, finally the green hell has ended.
So
The tail of the green hell. Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry, I'm bad with translation. But here, if you can see, there is a white boy saying, "Oh, he never will listen. The history that Brazil is the country of the future. You know, showing that we're gonna industrialize the Amazon, okay, and bringing money to that area, so people like him could, you know, have money and everything." And then now I'm gonna explain why is important the Amazon, okay? So in the Amazon, we have the rios voadores, which is the fly rivers. So basically, we have evaporation from the sea, and all these evaporations accumulate with the evaporation of the rainforest, because the Amazon produces all the rain there, and all this rain go to the South America. As you can see, they go to the Argentina, they go to Paraguay, they go to the center and the south of Brazil. So we have a rain because of the Amazon, and all these rains go to everywhere, as you can see. And if you notice here, we have a desert in Chile, okay? And if you follow like the line of Capricorn, you're gonna see that there is desert in Australia, there is desert in Namibia, and there is not a desert here in that area of Brazil because of the Amazon. The Amazon produces all the rain and it makes that part green. So there is a lot of studies showing the point of no return, which means the dieback of the Amazon, okay? Which is basically if the Amazon get deforestation by 25%, they starting producing less rain until become a savanna, okay? And yeah, and we are getting this part. So basically here is all the places that we are having deforestation. This graphic is from 2022. I didn't find anything more recently, so I'm sorry for that. But I just wanted you to see these areas here. Look at this area, look at this area, here, here, and here. Okay, just keep looking, because I'm asking him to change. So can you see the place that I show? All the places has some indigenous land, as you can see. So we don't have a more deforestation because we have indigenous land there, and they are protecting the forests, you know? They are protecting. So that's why we should be thinking all the time that the real heroes of the climate change is the indigenous people. I just try also to show some indigenous land. I'm sorry, this photo is not great, but in red you can see some indigenous land. The majority is in the Amazon, okay? And you have another biomes here and there, but you don't have many in this area here of Brazil, more in the north. And so, as I said, the indigenous people are saving the forest, and they are protecting. And I want to say something that's happened in the COP16 that you guys should know, that Tishai Suri, she was protesting in Cali, in Colombia, because there is some politicians in Brazil that want to make sure all the land of the Amazon, of the indigenous people, how do I explain? Marco temporal is basically sorry, I'm just translating what I read in Portuguese, but basically what I show you from the dictatorship, okay, ended in 1988, okay, and before that we didn't have any rules for the indigenous people. So what the government now wanna do? Everything, every land that is protected has to be reviewed, and maybe they can sell all the land of the indigenous people, you know, for agriculture or for the things. So Tishai Suri, she was protesting for that, you know, because you cannot review the land that were within more than 10,000 years, you know. And then she was protesting about that because some politicians, they want to get the right to have the land for them. And then she was protesting in Colombia, and a lot of the UN police got her and put out, and then she lost the badge that she was using, you know, just because she was protecting for her rights, for her land. And this is nossa história, começa antes de 1500, which means our history starts before 1500. So basically it's that. And I spoke with Shai, and she told me, like, if you want to do anything related to climate change, or if you want to fight for climate justice, you must listen to the indigenous people. She is not here today. I don't know if she has been banned from COP. I don't know, because she has lost her land in the COP16. But I just want everyone to, when you finish here, try to find some indigenous person and speak with them, because they are the ones that are protecting the forest. You know, my family, my past could not, all my community, we could not protect that place that I show in my island. But the indigenous people are doing this right now. And that's why I'm here. I want to say that colonialism is still in Brazil. We still have the same mind of the Portuguese people that's here. Sorry, I mean, like, they're different, but, you know, they colonized my country and destroy everything. But anyway, and I just want you to honestly speak with them, you know. Can you guys promise me that? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Obrigado.
Thank you so much, Mateus. And we will not make a pause, but actually move a bit to the south in the continent and go to Bolivia now with Christian. So Christian, can you please share your perspective on the civil society struggle for nature conservation in Bolivia? And maybe what are some of the power imbalances that keep you from achieving the climate goals?
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Okay. Well, I need to start saying sorry about my bad pronunciation. I try to make the best. Olga can help me if I can speak. But can you help me? Can you hear me? No?
Wait. Hi.
Hola, hola. Yeah, now is best. Hola, hola. Yeah. I need to start saying sorry. Oh. But sorry about my bad pronunciation, but I can make the best. Olga can help me if I need help about this. But well, Bolivia, we need. Can you change the next? We need to start. I know it. We need to start with this. The next, please. We need to start saying or looking about the. Not right. Sorry. Hola, hola. Okay. We need to start with this context about the biodiversity situation of Bolivia. Bolivia was ranked in the position 18th. Bolivia was a mega environment and a biodiversity mega biodiversity country, and this 18th position was the 2022, and the last year 2023 the ranking say that Bolivia is in the 14th position, and in the 5th national report say that Bolivia have the 40% of the world biodiversity, but that wasn't reiterated in the sixth national report for 2019. But you need to know that globally, Bolivia is known like a Andean country. We have many mountains because we need many Andean region. But you need to know that Bolivia is more Amazonic country because we have 75% of our territory is covered by the Amazonic region. In this sense, the next please, you can see in this map what is all this region about the Amazonic protected areas, the Ramsar sites. The next please. And in this map, you can see better of why I can say about this 75% of the national territory. And this area represents like 800 to 24,000 square of kilometers, and represent the 11.20% of all this Amazonic region in the world. And in Bolivia, we have many nations of indigenous people, 36 nations of indigenous people, and 29 of these 36 nations live in the Andean region in Bolivia. These projections say that close to 2 million of people is living in this area of to Amazonic in Bolivia, to Amazonic region in Bolivia, and this represents, or this area makes provides many ecological service. Mateus is saying that we have these flight rivers, but we need to know that this Amazonic region contains like 90 and or to 140 billions metric of tons of carbon. This is the most important for Bolivia because we need better the situation, because the next please. You can look better, you can know more about this report in this link, because the Bolivian Platform Against Climate Change with Latindad and Jubileo Foundation make this report about the climate crisis, debt, and extractivism. And in this report, the next please, we talk about this climate situation in the last 9 years. The report looks see this extreme climate events to 2013 to 2022. And you can see in this report how in the last 9 years, we have more deforested areas, deforested areas. We have more, how I can say, focos de calor, más incendios. We have more fires in the last years, and all the rivers, principal of the rivers of the Amazonic regions was contaminated for mercury. And this report showed all this difficult position, all this difficult reality of Bolivia, of the Amazonic region. The next, please. And the one of the important topics in this report is the extractive activities. In the region, we have like 44 projects in the sector, in the carbon sector, for the fossil fuels. We have 14 hydroelectric projects. We have many cooperatives, and this in the this is a difficult reality of Bolivia for the Amazonic region. The next, please. And this is the main threats impacts on the environment in Bolivia. The deforestation, the climate crisis, the minery, the intensive agriculture. And for the indigenous peoples, the impact is in these territories in alteration of livelihoods. The next, please. And we can see these two positions because the official reports show this 9.8 millions of hectares with fire, but other reports of the civil society show this different reality, like 10 millions of hectares to fire, and we need more access to environmental information in Bolivia because we don't have we have two reports all the time. We have the report of the civil society and we have the report of the government. The next, please. And we can see in this slide the most important what is the most important industry or the most important sector affect to this area. The principal is the industry, the industries, the fiscal territories, and and we need to change this difficult reality in Bolivia. The next, please. And if we talk about the money on Bolivia, we need to say that the money about the environmental sector is every year menos. Yeah, every year decrease, but the national reports say that we are I say va en incremento sorry. Yeah. And we need more money, we need more we need more presupuesto, we need more money about the environmental sector. The next, please. And in this slide, we can say which is the most the next, please. And this is a report for the civil society about the greenhouse gas emissions in Bolivia. The principal sector is the deforestation, agriculture, energy, divisas de exportación, tenemos mucha escasez de dólares. Igual estamos sufriendo, por ejemplo, la dificultad de exportación de productos de otros, porque hemos esperado y confiado bastante en un modelo que ha sido ineficiente los últimos 28 años. Entonces necesitamos, si bien ahora se está pensando en cambiar la matriz energética del país y buscar alternativas, pero esta dependencia ha generado de que estemos estancados bastantes años y actualmente estemos viviendo una crisis económica.
So basically, Bolivia is living through an economic crisis, and it has affected the currency, the dollar currency, and it has affected even some access to some products as well, and not just the energy market, but the overall access to resources for the people.
En ese sentido, si bien no estamos viviendo como tal una guerra o una situación compleja como la que sí repudiamos, pero en el caso boliviano estamos viviendo otro tipo de represión que es lamentablemente la vulneración de los derechos de los pueblos, la vulneración de los derechos de las mujeres, de los indígenas y de los jóvenes.
So although they are not living in such a drastic situation as, for example, the war, they do suffer from lack of attention to the indigenous rights, the rights of local communities and of women.
Porque principalmente son ellos los que, en base a lo que mostraba como Bolivia es un país principalmente amazónico, tenemos mucha riqueza a nivel de bosques, dependemos bastante a partir de lo que es este ciclo hidrológico de las nubes o de los ríos voladores, dependemos bastante de la Amazonía, pero lamentablemente por esta dependencia de los hidrocarburos al extractivismo, estamos viviendo una situación compleja que está poniendo en perjuicio esta realidad de los pueblos, que son quienes principalmente preservan los territorios y nuestras áreas protegidas.
So the people are very dependent on natural resources for their livelihoods, for their well-being, and for making a living. And those are exactly the territories that are being endangered. So this is the dilemma right now, because the people are both losing while losing the environment, the people are also losing the means of sustaining their life.
Yeah, I can. Hello. Now I don't have more 35 and I don't have to be running with the time. I can speak. So as you could understand, I was speaking about developmenting, how Brazil still have this mind of civilization. And it's happening one thing in Brazil that is near the place where we are going to have the COP30, that 3 countries won get petrol near Belém. And Brazil thinks is going to be really good because they can have some money, and all this petrol is a really good quality, and it can be, Brazil can be like, for example, the place of the last COP, Dubai. And yeah, so as you can see, we are fighting with money, with finance, you know. And some people in Brazil says that this COP30 is not the COP of to show the Amazon, or the COP to bring the indigenous people, the thing that I was showing you and defending, but to make agreements with some companies, you know. What's happening now in Brazil is Shell, for example, is paying a lot of influencers in Brazil to say good things about Shell, and they get a lot of money, like a lot. And yeah, because Shell won this part of the Amazon on the sea, you know. And sometimes Brazil fights with indigenous rights, land, you know, like human rights. In the other side, Brazil wanna develop development, wanna have money, want to, I don't know, be a rich country. So if you understand, we are fighting these 2 sides, and I voted for Lula, but sometimes I think he doesn't do what he promised us as Brazilians. So yeah, so sometimes it's complicated.
Always it's complicated.
Always, always complicated.
And I would maybe finish with a question to all of you about exactly what we are trying to do right now, the active solidarity and exchange of knowledge and practices and contexts, because we are very, we have many thousands of kilometers between our regions, but when I'm speaking to my colleagues from Climate Action Network, from Latin America, I actually am very surprised how many useful parallels we find, and how many joint topics we have in which we, if we dig deeper, we could find some answers even, maybe, if we learn about each other. And my question is about some of the tactics or ways to support that maybe are already used in your communities, in your networks, in your civil society, in between your civil society organizations, that help them to stay organized and not to despair in complicated political environments. Oh, you want me to start?
If you want.
Okay, it's all right, sure.
Well, actually, I'm a big fan of Ukrainian civil society, I must say, and you know, it must sound harsh, but our mutual problem, our circumstances, these hardships, they united us a lot, and actually, while standing in front of the big monster, I would say, we automatically find the ways to tackle the problems as we can. And actually, even maybe a very small story from the first days of the war. Well, actually, it will be a private level, right? Not the civil society level, but nevertheless, about Ukraine's nation. We were sitting for the first days in a country house, and there were actually no food, no water for some time, because all the supermarkets, they were empty. They became empty maybe on the second day, I guess, and all the petrol stations, everything. And but we had some milk, and we also had a neighbor. She was having a really little child, and she had gasoline. So we exchanged milk for gasoline, and that's how it worked, actually. So I think that the one of the key answers is about uniting before the problem. So you never know how you will do that before it really happens, unfortunately. But you should never give up, and just try to help your friend, your fellow organization, and that's the way it works, I guess. And yeah, we see it on the example of our nation, I believe.
Bueno, en el caso boliviano, creo que es necesario reconocer, y tal vez a nivel Latinoamérica, de que todavía no se está teniendo claro este rol de la sociedad civil. Depende que estemos 28 años con un mismo gobierno, muestra mucho de la realidad compleja que estamos viviendo. Si bien el 2009 hemos nacido nuevamente como Estado plurinacional, ha habido una nueva reconfiguración, hemos cambiado y reconocido a las naciones y pueblos indígenas, pero lamentablemente a la fecha, tras el fracaso de un modelo económico, nos muestra que claramente la sociedad civil necesita un mayor empoderamiento, articulación y presencia en espacios de toma de decisión, porque al final la dependencia de un modelo extractivista nos está llevando a una crisis económica, social y ambiental.
So, in principle, Bolivian civil society is in a very difficult condition and under a lot of pressure, because the government hasn't changed for almost 30 years. And although in 2008, you said, you were...
2006, entre el gobierno y 2009 hemos tenido nueva constitución como Estado plurinacional.
Okay, so in 2009, we'll check if I understood that correctly. You declared, you were declared as a multinational,
Estado plurinacional.
multinational state, but it didn't really, and so kind of acknowledging the different nations, different indigenous groups living there, but it didn't really change much, or didn't change their life for the better. And the extractivist model of economy and of energy, so basically the extraction of fossil fuels that made the economics dependent on it, has brought the country into the economic crisis, and there's much more needed to be done. And I will ask, how are you coping?
Principalmente por eso es necesario este fortalecimiento, más allá de reconocer a los pueblos, se maneja bastante lo que es los saberes tradicionales, pero no se está utilizando realmente en estos espacios de toma de decisión y al final las decisiones se las está realizando a nombre de los pueblos. Entonces, por eso mencionaba de que es necesario esta posibilidad de articulación, presión y sobre todo presencia en espacios de toma de decisión de ellos, que al finalmente sí han sido reconocidos, que históricamente es algo muy relevante para Bolivia.
So one of the things that are important is the preservation of the native knowledge, and the knowledge of indigenous people that know how to manage the ecosystem sustainably. And the second point is to be present in the decision-making spaces and to try and push so that the decisions are made in the names of the people who were in principle the ones who were supposed to make those decisions before.
Yeah. So I really like what you just said, especially you. I was near crying, but it was really emotional. But anyway, there is one thing that I do in Brazil that I believe, and I hope you all believe, is that together we are stronger, and coming here to COP and seeing everyone here doing the same thing as me, that's fight for climate justice, make me happier, What I do in Brazil is getting a lot of youth organizations together to put us in politics, in finance, in the decision makings, in LACOI, ARCOI, that is places where the people should be listened to us, the youth. And I have hope. I have hope we can do a transition. We can change everything. We can change the word for peace, but I think we can only do that together, not only one person, but all together helping each other. And that's what she said, like we were exchanging things, but we are helping each other in some way, and in the difficult times is when people help us, There is a really thing that I want to say that I was thinking when I used to work in a kitchen, like making vegan food, and I was listening at the same time the radio, a podcast in Brazil, where a policeman was saying that someone called the police and it was a child, and this child was crying because his mom didn't have any money in Brazil to buy food. So the police just went to the supermarket and bought a lot of food for them, and this is what I think is beautiful for the humanity. We help each other, and I know you guys had passed from so many struggle things, but in the end you always help each other, you always listen to each other, and that's what makes us the society. We are all always connecting each other, and this is beautiful. This is hope, and I have hope that one day everything is going to be better. You have hope as well, so yeah.
You
Hey,
have hope, and you
obrigado.
have hope.
No, yeah, because everybody's smiling, so I think everybody's is understanding, everyone feel hope inside you, and that's what motivates you, like sometimes you wake up sad, sometimes you wake up happy, but what motivates you every day is a hope for a better world, you know? Yeah. Obrigado.
Thank you so much. I have maybe like a final message to conclude this discussion is that we cannot build a safe, just, and climate neutral world without protecting indigenous rights and communities which are fighting to save their lands from exploitation and occupation, and that there is no place for colonial empires in the reality that we are creating. So let's keep building bridges. Let's keep learning from each other and support each other in our existential fights. Do you have any questions? We have 2 questions and we have 10 minutes for them.
Okay, I'll be first. Thank you. It was a very interesting and insightful panel discussion. Actually, I have a question. Mateus, during your presentation, you mentioned that people in Brazil still struggle with colonized mindset. And how do you think what should be done to erase it? Because I think it would be some joint lesson for everyone, and maybe something like that Anastasia also can share from your experience, how we can change it and reverse.
First thing. We can change with historical reparations, okay? There is a really nice program that Lula created in 2002 in Brazil. That's basically if you are from if you're black or indigenous, you have a percentage to go to university or to get a job. So it's putting these people in the society, you know, because when Brazil was colonized, only the white people, the ones from Europe, had the opportunity to get a job, to work in good places, and the black and the indigenous people were marginalized, and they were in a way that they could not get a job. So if you go like now to Brazil, some politicians, some people, owners of like companies, you think they are from Norway, but they are from Brazil, you know, and that there is not many black communities or indigenous. We don't have many representatives. So making sure we do this historical reparation, we can solve that. So one thing that I would do if I was Lula was asking Portugal to pay Brazil for the historical reparation, you know, because they, as I show in the map here, they destroy all the forests in the Mata Atlântica where my family, my people is from, you know, and this idea of developing is going to the Amazon, you know, is going to the far end. So which they should pay for all the forests that they destroyed, you know. They shouldn't be like that. So that's what I believe. We should sit on the table and say, look, you did that, and you did that. Now we can be friends, but you have to pay everyone and helping everyone, because you make the indigenous and the black people being where they are in the poor place, in the poor
the position of being like below and this is kind of very liberating, and for some people it's like first time they think of their history in this way and not being like ashamed of it basically.
Thanks. Very good panel and very important topic. I would like to ask speakers to, well, if we have time, for everyone to answer the question or your opinion on what are the main economic drivers of decolonialization now in your country or globally. And what can be done to redirect the social force from legacy industries, which are the part of the colonial exploitation, like coal mining, like industrial agriculture, like oil and gas to a lesser extent, but coal and for example coal mining and also industrial animal farming, big scale agriculture is still labor intensive. And what would you see as new economic opportunities that would build local economies more sustainable, more independent, and where do you see the opportunity to bring a social force into productive development, not colonial development?
Thank you. So we have 3 minutes to reflect on how do we rebuild a Bolivian economy so it's not extractive and it is just to the people. Maybe not only Bolivian, but I was just thinking that this is the case that you've been talking about.
Hola. Okay. Bueno, creo que hola, ahora sí. Bueno, Bolivia creo que tiene un caso muy particular porque después de esta renacimiento, digamos, como Estado plurinacional, que estemos como modelo dependiente del extractivismo, o que estemos, que depende del socialismo, que hayamos tratado de transicionar a un modelo económico en este sentido. Igual hay que reconocerle que tenemos dos posiciones. En Bolivia se maneja una posición política que maneja la cosmovisión andina, que no refleja lo mismo a la técnica de cómo se maneja, por ejemplo, los mercados de carbono, que al final el mismo Estado plurinacional. Creo que en el caso nuestro, si bien estamos 20 años con el mismo gobierno, es un proceso que todavía necesita tratarse y mejorar bastante en los siguientes años, ¿no? Entonces, estamos iniciando con esa visión de transición, dar un modelo económico mucho más de los pueblos, hay mayor énfasis en las naciones y elevar sus voces, pero todavía hay un sentido de instrumentalizar a los pueblos, utilizar a los pueblos para en base a ello generar una visión de un nuevo modelo económico. Entonces, creo que necesitamos, sobre todo en el caso boliviano, madurar mucho más esta idea de cómo se va a manejar e impulsar esta visión política de cosmovisión andina, de la Pachamama, de la Madre Tierra, porque en base a eso pienso que sí es posible. Yo, la verdad, reflexiono bastante respecto a esta visión de la Madre Tierra, porque sí es algo propio nuestro que ha nacido desde la actualización o vuelta a nacer de Bolivia como Estado plurinacional, pero todavía no es un modelo que pueda mostrarse como alternativo o que permita así mostrar un nuevo enfoque económico que permita así transicionar a algo más propio en Bolivia, ¿no? Entonces, creo que no surge como algo que pueda ser replicado en otros países, pero que sí tiene muchos insumos que pueden sí servir como algo muy de un Estado que está volviendo a nacer en base a este nuevo reconocimiento que tenemos principalmente de los pueblos.
So, no, but Christian covered that, reminded us about the difficulties of the same political regime, mentioning that there are two sides to the story. One is political and one is economical, or the market-based. And the political one is more portraying itself as social or socialist, and this turn into a nation of a country of many nations, and trying to show that there's a multicultural communities living in the country. It's not yet showing the results, although Christian has hope that it might be some of the models where the communities are not instrumentalized, or not used in the economic system as just the resource that they have, land or forest or rivers, etc. But if I understood correctly, that these communities, diverse communities, could actually have influence on decisions about their economic choices, and that these political ideas of like having diverse people, but with human rights respected, that it also needs to translate to the economic market language. But it is very difficult that they are at the beginning of it, of thinking of how to do it, because it's a different language. So it's a language of materialistic thinking, where the profit is the main thing, and it doesn't really combine well with wanting to protect the community. So yeah, I guess we can meet in a couple of years and ask how you are doing with the rethinking of the whole country, basically. If anyone wants to add a bit on how to rebuild. Yes.
Bueno, algo que igual he tratado de hacer énfasis es que al final Bolivia es un país megadiverso. Es un país que tiene mucha riqueza natural, pero lamentablemente no está siendo aprovechada, no en el sentido de extraerla, sino en el sentido de preservarla, sino en el sentido de utilizar los recursos propios que nos da la naturaleza. Entonces podríamos transicionar a un modelo muy interesante, muy propio nuestro, si reconocemos que Bolivia, por ejemplo, es 75% Amazonía, y en base a eso tenemos muchos recursos y mucha sinergia que generar con los territorios, los pueblos y la madre tierra.
So the suggestion is to remember that the country is 75% Amazon, and the resources are there. It's just not necessarily under the ground, and learning how to use the natural resources in a sustainable way and not in the extractivist way. So I don't know, some of the examples, is it more like agriculture and actually fishing or agroecology? Yeah, so learning how to actually live with those resources and not just take them away might result in some in potentially good solutions in the future. So let's maybe hear from Anastasia then. And
yeah, I will be short. In regard to what is the economy of a decolonized country, I believe that this is the economy with the added value products, not raw materials, but added value products, because it must be, I would say, not a seed, but an oil to be exported, as an example. And in regard to the second part of the question, I have a question for the audience, a quick one. Who does know what is the Build Back Better, not a principle under the Sendai framework, but something else? Has anyone ever heard of another Build Back Better? You did? Yeah? No? All right. It's a name of the economic plan of one of the US presidents, actually. And it has nothing in common with the Build Back Better principle, but it actually contains an answer to this question. Maybe it's not a full answer, it's not like a silver bullet, it's not the whole solution, but nevertheless, the good idea is to, first of all, create more green jobs in non-carbon intensive sectors to actually implement this so-called just transition. And I would also add that the crucial point here is to make polluting businesses unprofitable. So if the alternative is profitable, there is no reason actually to stay in the previous economic field. That's what I would like to add. Thanks.
Did you finish? Okay, we finished for now, okay. But I just want to say one thing that I just got a message, okay, that Portugal is starting having the historical reparation, giving free wine, okay. So if anyone want to join me, they start just now, okay. So I can answer any questions because I don't have any like more than 30 slides, so I'm calm and fine, okay. So if anyone here want to join me, we can go.
Thank you so much. So there's a continuation to an opportunity to learn more about each other, network, and talk about our contexts. And there's many more people from many more backgrounds in the audience that I also can see. So join us. And by this, we will finalize, hopefully not the one and only first ever and last panel of such kind, but hopefully many more to come, especially on our road to COP30. So treat this as a test, an experiment, and let us know your honest feedback and engage in creating spaces like this further as well. Thank you so much. Microphones? Anyone has microphones? Okay, give me. Here. Waiting for you. Yes.